What's good, everybody? My name is Vont, and welcome to the first ever Let's Talk About It. I've decided to create this platform in order to highlight the raw and unfiltered conversations with the guests that I have featured on this program. I'm excited to start this journey and kick it off with none other than Mr. Mark J.P. Hood. Mark is an actor from Chicago, Illinois, who you may have seen on some of your favorite TV shows like Chicago PD, Sirens, The Resident, and more recently as a recurring role on the Showtime comedy series Black Monday, starring the legendary Don Cheadle. He also plays the lead role in a new upcoming feature film called Love You Right. Mark is also a singer-songwriter who competed on The Voice in 2015 and has used his singing abilities to perform hits on the radio as well as some phenomenal covers on YouTube. I'm excited to talk to Mark, and I hope you are too. So without further ado, let's talk about it. Mr. Help Me Holy Ghost himself. What's happening, Mr. Mark J.P. Hood?
Oh man, that's a throwback right there, man. What's up?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Man, I'm well, man, dealing with this quarantine, but I'm happy to be safe and alive and healthy, man. What about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm blessed, black, but equal and highly favored. So I'm glad you mentioned the quarantine. Are you still? How are you? You in LA, right?
I'm in LA, man.
Are you safe? Are you well? Like, how is everything?
I'm well, man. For a quick second when this all kicked off, my mom wanted me to come home to Chicago. My parents were like, come home, come home. I'm like, nah, because at the time it was like March, and if you know Chicago, my hometown,
Windy
um,
City.
all day long. South side, what's up? But in Chicago, it was still cold then, and it was nice weather here. So I was like, if I'm going to quarantine, if I'm going to have to be in the house and I can't do nothing, I at least want sunny skies and nice weather. So stay here. And I miss my family at home, but I'm safe out here. It's cool. Everybody wearing their mask. I got a strict no one in, no one out policy. So, you know, I'm maintaining.
That's good, man. I'm glad to hear. I know that at the time of us recording this, things are slowly starting to lift. How have you been dealing with everything mentally?
Mentally, this has been a wonderful time, like to say the least. Like I feel like we spend a lot of time talking about the negative side of it, like anxiety and the depression and those things that come along with the quarantine. But for me, man, I found so much purpose during this time, bro. I've truly found so much about myself, found out so much about myself that I never really tapped into because I never had this much time to sit down and do nothing and look at four walls. Like it's one
Mm.
thing to sit down and rest, but it's another thing to sit down because you can't go nowhere. No places are open. You can't go to restaurants, you can't go to bars, you can't go nowhere. So you really got no choice but to, man, put that mirror up and really be looking at your reflection and really see those things in you that are great, those things in you that you need to work on. And for me, I found so much purpose. I found so many things, so many opportunities for growth during this time. And I know it sounds crazy, but really that has outweighed the negative side of the anxiety that most of us deal with, and the depression that some people may deal with that could come along with COVID in this quarantine. So mentally, I think I'm coming out of when we come out of quarantine, I'm coming out in a much stronger place than I was.
That's really good. And I'm glad to hear that I ask a lot of people how their mental health is, and some people can't properly, I guess, assess it. So to hear that you know all the attributes that it takes in order to know that your mental health is good and it's not just I'm fine. I'm really happy about that. I do want to I do feel like for some people too much time alone or I guess with themselves isn't really healthy. So that's something that I feel like we have to stay woke about and make sure people really because that could cause, I guess, mental stress for a lot of people too. Too much time away from others, but I mean, it's the only way that we can stay safe. So
Yeah, everybody can't take it, but right now it's like one of those things that we gotta stay safe, so we can't really be around people. And me, I'm a textbook extrovert. I love people. I'm a touchy guy. Like I love my friends. So this has been hard for me. Like not to see people, not to have human contact. It's been real hard, but of course it's for the greater good. And not and I was able to clear my mind of being distracted by some of that human contact and really focus on. I asked myself the question. I was sitting around about 4 weeks in, and I was like, man, I'm so bored. What is it to what am I what can I do? What fit to my life? And I realized I literally did not know my life outside of what I do, outside of entertainment, outside of acting. I was like, what can I do with myself outside of being an actor, outside of being an entertainer? Like, I don't know. And that was like a wake up call for me, bro. because so many of us are so attached to what we do, like that we aren't our truest selves outside of that. Like I only know I'm good when I'm acting, or I only know I'm fun when I'm singing or whatever. Like it's like no, take all of that away. Like this is the time to really find who you are. So it's been beautiful to be on this path to discovery.
That's interesting because I feel like a lot of people, a lot of actors, but I mean, it could be entertaining, but more so actors. I feel like y'all have to find yourselves on a different level than regular people. Regular people, y'all actors are regular people. Then like people that aren't actors, because y'all have to tap into a different part of yourself. Like if you have like a deep role or something, you have to tap in. All right, like what can get me in that mindset? So that's interesting to hear that like you don't know, you kind of didn't know before quarantine who you were.
Yeah, and I don't want to misconstrue it to the point like where I didn't know who I was, but let's say I got a deeper understanding as to who I was
Right.
outside
Okay.
because I have been so busy. So imagine that if I've been on the road and shooting and doing all of this stuff consistently for months or months or months or months, and then all of a sudden you sit down, like when you're so accustomed to that and being all around, you really just lose. It kind of all goes into like a flow, and you just like doing, and you not real. You want to just like on a fast track. It's just happening versus.
Mm.
And so I compare that with acting. A lot of times everybody got different techniques. Some people use substitutions where they have to, substitute and rise and Stanislavski. For me, finding myself will ultimately help with the acting thing. But let's say, like you said, if I got a deep role or something, it's about me stepping outside of myself and who I am and what I think to then embody that role. So it didn't matter. It matters, of course, if I know myself and everything like that. But in that moment, no. Like I'm figuring out ways to step all the way out of Mark JP Hood and be this guy. Who is this guy? How different is he from me? So that's the line, that we teeter.
Yeah, I'm glad you have that personal self-assessment in yourself because I feel like I said, with everything going on, people are struggling to find them. Even before all this was going on, I feel like people were just struggling to find themselves. But so you're a singer, you're an up and coming actor, and I say up and coming not to discredit all the amazing things that you have done, but because I know that you and I'm a living witness of it, you have barely begun to scratch the surface, and I see you going above and beyond of what you already have. I know a lot of this is fluid. No problem, man. I know a lot of this is fluid right now because of the state of the world. But where do you see the industry going as we celebrate or as we continue to like this craziness evolves?
Where do I see the industry going?
Yeah,
Man,
entertainment industry.
I really feel I feel in my heart and heart that the entertainment industry is going to find a way to adapt. It ain't going nowhere because during this rough time in the world, the one place, well, one of the few places or avenues that people could find peace is through entertainment. They've been watching TV, they've been watching movies, they've been listening to music. They've been doing all of those things that count on our medium. So I know that the studios and the producers and the EPs are working really hard to figure out a way to get back to normal. It ain't ever gonna be normal. Maybe in 10 years it'll be back to what we thought, as far as the industry and the way we shoot and the way content is produced, it's gonna be way different. And I'm excited to see what it is. I mean, I'm ready to get back to work. Of course, safety protocols. I mean, I'm sure it ain't gonna be as much if I'm in the scene with a bunch of extras and they're supposed to be close to me. That won't be the case.
Yeah.
A lot like kissing scenes and like intimate scenes. I'm sure those will be changing. Just so many, like the way we know it down to the way we eat craft services on set. It's all about to be different. But I know we're coming back bigger, better, and stronger because it's a world of people depending on us just for 30 minutes of joy, even if that's all they get per day.
The entertainment industry and media in general have definitely evolved a lot through time, not even to adapt, just in general. So I definitely feel like I don't know if you keep up with like talk shows, like how Ellen and Jimmy Fallon, all of them are doing like, at-home shows now. So I know for you it'll be a little bit more different because you do more narrative type shows as opposed to like things that are like, hey, welcome to my house, like more reality types. So I feel like it will definitely affect you a little bit more in all that you do, but you don't seem like a person at all that is hard to adapt to certain situations. As far as like obviously a whole, I feel like it'll be a bit challenging, but Hollywood gonna find a way.
They're gonna find a way, and they're gonna have to find a way because I'm ready to get back to work. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. What is Well, I'm gonna ask you about yourself specifically, but generally, what does success look like to you? Like, put a definition on success to you.
And success is personal happiness, personal growth, man. Success is um success is being to myself good at what I do. So if I can look at myself and say, I'm happy with what you're doing, Mark. You're good. You feel good about the work that you're doing. You're alive, you got breath, and you got sustainment. That's success to me. And by sustainment, I mean, of course, finances and stuff like that. But success to me is not fame. Like, and a lot of people will like say that like success to me just fame can come with success, but success to me is not fame. So yeah, that's how I feel about that.
That's humble. What do you feel like will be the pinnacle of Mark JP Hood success, essentially?
There are things that I want out of life. I want to be an EGOT winner, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony, and
Yes.
I want all of those things. And although everybody would say awards don't mean this or awards mean that, it's always nice to be recognized in what you do. So there are so many avenues of the entertainment industry I want to get to outside of even being in front of the camera. Like getting behind to directing and executive producing and writing and stuff like that. So success for me looks like Mark Hood, a big happy family, beautiful wife, children, we well taken care of. I feel good about the work I'm doing. I'm not selling out to Hollywood or to anybody. That's what success looks like me to me. You know, and
Are you married?
no, I'm not married, man.
Do you well, I mean, you kind of just said like those are your objectives right now, a family and stuff. But I'm glad that you said that also because I feel like a lot of people today feel like there's no way to succeed if you have a family or other like priorities, even if it's at home. But we see living people. Kevin Hart made a whole documentary, pretty much like portraying like, yo, my family is my life.
Yeah, I feel like I get where people are coming from, and I'm there. Like I'm not at the point where I'm trying to get married right now, but
Mm-hmm.
the pinnacle of success, like how you ask, like is what I see long term. I definitely see a wonderful family to share. Um, the life with. Like I've been working hard for a long time, and I will continue to work hard until I'm done, which could be either when I went on or till I decide that I'm retiring from the industry. I will continue to work hard, and what's all of that to work hard and get these blessings from God that have been ordained since day one, and not have a wonderful family to share it with. So that's a big part of it for me.
Word. Do you feel like you have some type of disadvantage or some type of setback from the success because of everything?
Because of COVID,
Yeah.
man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I felt like things were really ramping up right before COVID came. And for 2 seconds, I kind of got like, damn, darn, I'm sorry.
No, you
Uh,
good. You good.
uh,
Say what you want.
I'm just like, man, it was just I felt an uphill like rise, like, and it was just so many things behind the scenes that were happening, great stuff that was going on, and then everything just like boom. But the valuable lessons, again, like we talked about, that I learned during this time. And I'm a super faith driven man. What God has in store for me was written, it was predestined. It was, this is a long time ago. I'm living out God's plan. So, COVID 19 can't stop God's plan. It doesn't even delay it. The plan is still, we're still on the mission. It's a mission, not a show. We're still going. So, it's all good.
Yeah, God had this template already in the back, like not the back of his mind, but God already knew all this was gonna happen. So it's nothing that.
The font, the color, everything is all out. I'm just going. Like I'm literally walking. He's a lamp unto my feet. He's walking in front of me. He goes before me. I know that's so animated, but it's so real. Like the
No, it's
Lord
truth. Yeah.
goes before me, bro. Like I don't go into no room by myself. I don't go onto no set by myself, into any opportunities by myself. The Lord Himself walks before me and makes a way for me. And so when I get to those points where I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? Like, man, you're giving all your good years to this career, and like, what does this mean? And it's like I be remembering, like, yo, you walking before me, be good.
Yeah, I really like hearing you like profess your profound love and like your how spiritually uprisen you are, because a lot of people also try to I'm not gonna say take heed into that, but like don't try to I get people try to cap and just be like, no, I mean like it's whatever. Like, I mean, things happen, but why the God gotta do this? And that's another thing. I hate that people God's the first person you think when things go right, but then people when things go bad, people will be like, oh God, why? Like people don't know that the devil roams this earth also.
That's a true testament to faith, man. You know, it's like it's easy to give God praise and give God thanks when everything's good. It's hard when everything's bad. That's the true test right there. Waking up every morning during this pandemic and still saying, God, I thank you. God, thank you for being alive right now. God, thank you just for being healthy. God, thank you for what you got coming for me after this is all over. Thank you for still providing for me, God. Like those things are so important, at least for me, daily affirmations. Because it's easy when you got your blessings, when you on shows and stuff. It's easy to be like, oh, thank you, God, I'm all set. Like that's easy because you got it. But it's not easy when we're going through this. That's your real test of faith. And I ain't no like I ain't no preacher, no minister, no nothing like that. I'm just a product of the prayers of the righteous, which have availed much for me. My parents, my grandparents, my family, my friends, myself. Man, that's all I am, is just a product of prayers, man.
Amen. I respect that. So let's get into what you do. Tell me how you got into acting and singing.
Yeah, man. So grew up artistic kid. My parents knew pretty early on, so they had me in music class, tap class, acting class, literally since I was a young kid. All through what kindergarten, eighth grade, I was like, uh, leading or starring. I had great roles in all like the school plays and stuff like that. I always knew. Like there was other little stuff here and there, but like, oh, maybe I'll get, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. But everybody always knew I was gonna be in entertainment. And fast forward after high school, because I went to high school on the farm. We won't even talk about that.
You good.
After high school, I got back into it. And I got right after high school, I got back into theater, which is where my heart is. That's my love. Theater was my first love, musical theater, because I was able to put both of my passions together, acting and singing. In regular theater, it's just acting, and singing, and music is just singing. But in musical theater, I was able to do both of the things that I loved. So I got back into that, and from there is when I got signed with my first agent and started getting TV roles. Yeah, that's just kind of how it all kicked off.
I know so I'm a drummer. I play drums, and I've loved like listening to music ever. My dad and his siblings, they all dance. So I can, if you teach me, like I can dance, but I've picked up more so like the musical, like the instrumental aspect of it. But I also I'm a content creator. I've done school plays. I do comedy skits. I do podcasts and all that. So I've grown up kind of in the artistic world more so. I was never like a sports guy or nothing like that. Like, so I've always enjoyed like entertainment and stuff. And I know that I grew up watching shows and movies and stuff and trying to mirror them. Were there any shows like or characters or figures or something that you mirrored when you were growing up?
Man, Jamie Foxx, bro, and
Yes.
Frank Fight. So Jamie Foxx was so important for me because he was singing and he was acting on the show and he was funny. Like the things that I loved to be. My favorite thing is laughing and making people laugh. That's what I do with my friends to this day. I just say dumb stuff and make them laugh. And so seeing Jamie Foxx on the Jamie Foxx show, he, playing with Fancy, and then he goes to the keyboard and he's singing, and like seeing Jamie Foxx was so important for me. And then seeing Fresh Prince, Will Smith, like he was funny, he was musical as well. He was like his humor on the show at the time had a abrasiveness to it that I liked, and like seeing them two on TV was important for me. But another really defining moment for me was my parents when we were really young. They exposed us to theater at a young age, so we were and there's two sides. I'm on the record here. So not that there's two sides to the theater, there's two styles. There's a few different styles of theater. There's like what I would now make a big conglomerate, Broadway style theater, and
Right.
then urban theater, which I've done both and love both. Like I've been in many urban plays and I've done the Broadway style shows as well. Anyway, when I was a kid, they took us to
Well, wait,
see
wait,
like
wait. What is an urban play first?
urban plays usually have been birthed out of like the church, and like church plays and stuff like that, and like black marketed plays,
Okay.
like Tyler Perry. You love him.
Okay. Here we go.
He
Yeah.
marketed to the urban circuit, Medea. And we went to see Medea and we went to see Lion King. So those were opportunities where I saw brown people like myself on stage. I remember we went to Lion King and I was like, Mom, I want to do this. But then when we went to see Medea's class reunion when I was 11 or 12 years old at the Regal Theater on 79th Street in Chicago, that's when I really knew. Thank you, Tyler Perry. I saw all his full cast of black people up there acting and singing. And I was a kid, I was young. I tapped my mom. I think Terrell Carter was singing something on the stage in the bedroom up the stage. I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to do that. So, like that, the seeing that, both of those things were very important and just special moments that happened for me when I really knew like this is what I wanted to do.
Was your upbringing in Chicago beneficial in any aspect in regards to your acting?
Absolutely, man. Chicago is such a rich city of just culture, of talent, of just vibe. So just growing up in Chicago, seeing both sides of life, like sometimes I go in for a role and they're like, "Where you from?" I'm like, "Chicago." And I'm like, okay, yeah, bring that grit. I don't take that as a negative. That's a positive to me because there is a grit to Chicago. There is a cut to Chicago, not a bad one, but it's just a on it. And so I absolutely do think that growing up in Chicago, seeing many facets of a just crazy diverse city with so many different opportunities have joined together to make me who I am today. Chicago, South Side. What's
Yeah.
up?
I know Chicago has been it's been a landmark for not only for filming, but for like where a lot of shows and movies I know like set like the fictional world of like their project in. And so like Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, The Shy and stuff. But I know that Chicago also is popular for, I guess, not popular, but known for its high crime rate and for its violence. Do you feel like as a big Chicago figure, you have an obligation to try to be an advocate to stop any of that?
Absolutely. I feel responsibility in any way for my city because I rep it so hard. So whenever I hear anything, I'm keen to come and defend it, and not even defend it, but to come talk about it. Like to now say to you that as you know, doing media, how the media sensationalizes everything. The amount of crime that happens in Chicago. Yes, it's not anything to be heralded, but it's not as bad as the media makes it seem. I grew up in Chicago my whole life. I never people ask me out here in LA, like, oh man, you have to get out of Chicago, huh? Like they think I was like running from gunfire and like, getting my house shot up and seeing all of that stuff. Like, and no, mind you, I've seen it, but I was never running from nothing. My church, my dad's church is at Inglewood. That's a tough community. But at the same time, I still feel connected to my city. I still feel love for my city. And I know that we are more than what the media makes us out to be. So I do feel not responsible, but a need to step up and do what I can to combat, which is why I started my organization, the Hood Dreams Foundation, just because I felt like kids didn't know how to dream, like, and that they were kind of people like to be reckless because they don't got no dream. I wasn't reckless because I had a dream. I knew I was trying to get to this place, and I knew like maybe if I could just affect a few kids, we start this organization, kind of teach them, streamline that dreaming to really get them to a place where like they really living for something. Maybe just maybe, it could change. I don't know if we save one life, like that helped. So yeah, that's why I'm at with it.
For there to be a foundation that you created for to try to uplift and bring not only young people with dreams, but young Black people or young people of color, period, with dreams. I admire that, and I salute to you for that. What can people do to like donate or to help with the foundation?
Man, they could visit our pages, Hood Dreams Foundation. Um, there it is. That's our logo back there, Hood
Yes,
Dreams.
sir.
So Hood Dreams Foundation. You can visit us at hooddreamsfoundation.com and see all the info there. And we would love to have all your support because, especially coming out of COVID, it's going to be an interesting time.
Yeah. Has there ever been a traumatic, but it doesn't have to be so traumatic. You know, you think of traumatic, you think of like death, but it doesn't have to be that deep. Turning point for you in terms of your personal life or your career that redefined you at any point in time?
Hmm. Dramatic turning point.
Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be like traumatic, like nobody passed or anything, but like something that just made you like second guess or possibly like something like, and it caused like a redefinition of who Mark JP Hood is.
Man, you know what? Crazy enough, like after the voice, man. So that's 2015. We moved past that, go through 2016. Kind of after that, it was a period of being lost, man. Like just like, what am I doing? The voice, I'm gonna give it to you, was random. Like that was kind of like randomly happened. I was acting before that, and I was doing music and stuff too. But I knew like that my focus was really gonna be acting. And then the voice kind of came, and I did it. So then after that, I never even released any music because I really wasn't there to do it. I was just literally going through the motions, and I was making a lot of money because I was like doing a lot of shows and like all this kind of stuff. And it was helping with my acting career as well because like a lot of auditions and stuff was happening. But at the same time, I was lost. I was like, yo, okay, like really, what's going on? Like, and then when I moved to LA in 2017, I was even more lost because I came out of Chicago, like, and I was not that I was a big name in Chicago, but as far as from here to there, it was like big fish in small pond, especially on like the acting front. Like, and then came here and it was like small fish in an ocean, and it was just like a little bit of just kind of being lost, trying to find my bearings and quickly realizing like what I needed to focus on and where I needed to be going. So I would say a period between like after the voice and moving to LA and getting lost here for a second, that was a turn to then realize my worth, my talent, what I brought to the table, what I needed to be brought to my table to help me bring stuff to other tables. And then I really started to realize, and I'm still growing every day. I'm still
Mm-hmm.
figuring it out. Like, I don't got the answers. But in 2020, I am much better just mentally in this industry and where I want to go than like late 2016, 2017, post voice into LA. It was a lost time. And people will see during that time I was doing a whole bunch of stuff, but I was just doing stuff, just going through the motions with no purpose, So yeah.
I've seen a lot of your work, and I'm absolutely a fan. One thing that I know that I found out you and I both have in common is that we are both onto the One Chicago trilogy created by the King, Dick Wolf. I'm a big fan of Fire. You're a big fan of PD. And you actually got to be a guest star on both of them. You were you had a quick little role with Monica Raymond on Fire, and then
Oh,
you had a
wow.
role with Leroyce. I forget Leroyce's last name, but he plays Detective Atwater on PD. And that must have meant the world to you because it's not only your favorite show, but it's a successful franchise from your hometown. What was oh, you got the graphic? Oh, you
I was trying to put it up, but it
put up the
it
graphic where he got you on the wall.
man, yeah, I was trying to put that up literally, but it ain't letting me be great. It's all good.
Devil
I
trying
had
to work against you.
Yeah, working against me, but no man. I I love the Chicago trilogy, man, and it don't got nothing to do with me being from Chicago. That
Hmm.
just But no, they're just great shows to me. I was watching them when they first came out. And then doing that episode with Leroyce on Chicago PD, that's my favorite show. But moreover, he's a great friend of mine. He's a brother of mine. He's seen me come up in the industry. He pulled me into a show in theater that really, I would say, started my professional start in 2011 or 2012. I was like 20 or 21, and that's when I would like to say that my professional career started. And Leroyce pulled me into that thing, so I'm into that show. So, coming on to PD in my hometown, working with him, just it was incredible. Um, I can't wait until the next seasons come. I hope that I get to go back.
Yeah, man. You did fire in both of those roles. I hope to see you on a larger scale on both of those shows and other projects. One of which I know you want, and it's one of your most recent roles. Also, is Black Monday. For those who have never seen Black Monday, explain what that is and what role you play on there.
Yeah, so Black Monday is a dope show on Showtime starring Don Cheadle and Regina Hall,
Yes, legends.
many more legends in the game. um, the stock market crash way back when, and this is Black Monday. So it's a super dope comedy. It's like it's different than what you would think, especially what you would think from the GOAT Don Cheadle. Man, that man, he's the GOAT. And so I played one of his comrades from back in the day last season. It was a flashback, and they flashed back to us. My name's Herbie. You know, we Black Panthers. Then fast forward season 2, I was on the treadmill at the gym when my agent called, like, yo, they want to bring you back to Black Monday. I said, yo, no, that was supposed to be just a one off. No, man, it's coming back. It came back. It has the second episode. It hasn't aired yet, but yeah, it was really an amazing opportunity, amazing time working with Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle is a legend. Don Cheadle has proven to be much more than a legend, but a great figure in my life since I met him. He Don, man, Don is just, man, I thank that man. Before I started filming this last movie I started filming, it was my first lead in a movie. It wasn't my first film, it was my first time like actually filming the whole movie. And I hit up Don like, yo, like, Don, I got this movie, and I just need some tips, some pointers. Like, how should I move with this movie? And he was like, you got the acting part. Let's talk about the other side of leading a film, and that I didn't even realize. He's like, you'll deliver on that side, but what's important is you being a leader on set and making sure you're showing up and you're being professional. Like all that stuff, like there ain't no GOAT breaking down to somebody who's still coming up in the industry. So I just appreciate Don and Black Monday, and God bless America.
Yeah. Great way to end the year. Thank y'all for tuning in to part 1 of the conversation with Mark JP Hood. The conversation does not stop here, so click right here to tune in to part 2 of Let's Talk About It with Mark JP Hood, or click right here to just tap into some more dope content. And as always, make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications. That way you get notified every time I upload.